What's going on, guys? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome back to another weekend in the lawn. In today's video, we are going to be continuing on with our Lost Lawn project of the 2019 lawn season. With all that being said, let's get into the video. For those of you guys who've been following along, you guys know that this is actually a lawn revival series that I'm doing here at my uncle's house to make up for the fact that his lawn hasn't had any tender loving care within the last year and a half. The last time it received a good fertility application was in April of 2018, and then from there, I just got busy, my uncle got busy, and time got away from us completely, and because of that, it's been a year and a half since this lawn has received any tender loving care. Within that time, it literally hasn't had any proper fertilization, no proper irrigation, just straight cutting if that, right? And as you remember, the lawn did take a steep turn downhill, but I gotta say, it's not looking too bad, especially the front lawn, which, as I mentioned before, was sodded. Thinness isn't really something I'm concerned about, to be honest with you up here, but it's more so the fact that the lawn is lacking good color and vigor, which is what we need to help it with. And the back lawn, on the other hand, which was seeded, definitely needs a little bit of help, because as I talked about before, the back lawn was seeded, and because of that, it didn't have the proper upbringing it needed all the way through the seeding development stage, and because of that, as summer went on, it got really hot and really dry, and it just started baking the lawn, and as a result, the lawn thinned out, leaving me with all these bare areas intermittently throughout. Because of that, the back lawn is really in need of some help here. One thing I did do in that video, just to kind of kick off this series and have a little fun really, is I did put down a couple of goodies on the front yard. More specifically, I started off with an application of Milorganite at 12 pounds per thousand. For those of you guys who are smart, you guys don't know that Milorganite, because it's a 6% nitrogen source. We got about 0.72 pounds of nitrogen out of that. I also put down my next double dark cocktail, which is 6 ounces of 700 and 9 ounces of 002. And I gotta say, within 2 weeks of that, the results were dramatic. Check it out. Our task at hand in today's video is to do some overseeding here at my uncle's house. The reason I want to go ahead and seed my uncle's lawn is because I want to, number one, thicken his lawn up, right? Especially the back lawn. We have a lot of thin areas back there, and getting some new cultivars in there will definitely help thicken it up. And the second reason I want to do it is because, like I said a few seconds ago, I want to introduce some new cultivars into the lawn that are better advanced against environmental issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, like foot traffic, fungus, drought, all sorts of things, right? It's a good idea to get some new cultivars in there to build some resilience against those everyday problems that we deal with. And the third reason I want to do this is because I want to show you guys that you can culturally choke out weeds in your lawn. Because one question I get a lot this time of year on my live show, email, comments, I get this everywhere. A lot of people are asking me, well, Jake, I want to go ahead and seed, but what do you recommend I do about the weeds? Do I spray them and wait a couple of weeks? Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, it really depends on the situation and the severity of the weeds. If you don't have that many weeds to a point where it doesn't block the soil completely, you could still get good contact, then you should be fine. Go ahead and seed, because what I want you to realize is that the weeds are there for a reason, and that sole reason is exposed soil, right? What I want you to realize is that those weed seeds have either A, been residing in that soil for quite some time, or B, maybe they've blown in from other areas like dandelions do, and maybe they're just being encouraged to grow by the fact that those areas are exposed to sunlight, they're being baked, they're getting heat, and because of that, those seeds are getting energy to grow, and as a result, you get all these weeds poking up in those bare areas. So the way to fix that over time is to go ahead and seed those areas, get some viable turf in there that'll help cover those areas up, shade them completely, which will reduce the chances of those seeds actually germinating. Another reason I want to do this is really for comparison's sake. I want to compare two seed products and two fertility regimens for the seeding process. So As far as the seed products I want to compare here, they're going to be two professional varieties from two different manufacturers. The first one being the Seed Superstore Sun and Shade blend. I've had this blend for quite a while, as you guys have heard, and we do hold the risk with it because it does have a little bit of crop in there, but like I said, to be honest with you, not worried about it because more content that I get to make. And another grass seed that I'm going to be using is going to be the GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue blend. Now this seed is a really good pure quality seed as it has really high germination rates, 85 to 90%, and on top of that we have no weed seeds to worry about whatsoever, and it's just pure tall fescue. I'm going to seed the front with the Seed Superstore blend. As we do have a fairly established lawn up there, and the blend is mostly bluegrass, so I'm not really looking to do too much here, just add to what I already have, really. And then the back lawn, on the other hand, because it's fairly thin, that's a mixture of rye and fine fescue, but because it is so thin, I do have some flexibility back here to introduce whatever grass type I want, so I decided to take advantage of that and put down the Turf Type Tall Fescue blend as one, I've never grown tall fescue seed before, and two, I just want to see how it's going to perform. And the second comparison I want to do with the fertility aspect of it is I'm actually going to take this lawn and I'm going to split it right down the middle. We're going to do liquid fertility on one side, and we're going to do that using the Green County Next Seed Starter Pack, and on the other side we're going to do granular treatment, and we're going to do that with some granular fertility products from Carbon Earth Company. By the way, for those of you guys who have been wondering whatever happened to my Husqvarna mower, there it is. It's here at my uncle's. It's doing well. So for those of you guys who've been worried about it, just wanted to show you guys that, yeah, my uncle has it. Rest assured. Before we get to dropping down the seed here, there's one last preparation we need to do, and that is that we need to make sure that the lawn is mowed down lower than it's used to being mowed. Now, as I've talked about in my pre-seed mow down video, I recommend you do this for a couple of reasons. It'll improve seed to soil contact, and it'll also give more sunlight to the seed. When you try and seed on top of a tall turf canopy, your chances of that seed getting down to the soil are very slim. They're mostly going to hang around the canopy, right? And even if they do get down to the canopy, the main energy source that they're going to struggle for is going to be sunlight. When you have those tall blades in there, they're going to decrease your chances of the blades getting sunlight and actually coming up. So by cutting it lower, you're going to improve seed to soil contact and give it more sunlight. And on top of that, we're also going to compensate for the fact that we're not going to be mowing for 2 weeks. That's right, we're not going to mow the lawn for at least 2 weeks because we need to give that seed some time to grow in and establish a little bit before we consider mowing regularly again. First order of business today is going to be to get down our grass seed. On the front lawn, which was sodded, I'm going to be using the Seed Superstore blend, and on the back, which was seeded, we're going to be using the GCI Turf Tall Fescue blend. As far as application rates go, for the front, I have a fairly established lawn area here, so I don't have to worry about going too crazy. About 5 to 7 pounds is where you should want to be according to the manufacturer, so for me, I'm going to go for that 6 range as I do want to have a little bit of fun here, and I also do have a couple of areas that I do want to fill in. Whereas the back lawn, I actually want to lean a little bit closer to that higher pounds per thousand, more specifically about 8 or 9 pounds per thousand. I have a fairly thin lawn with bare areas throughout back there, and because of that I want to apply at a higher rate to increase my chances of succeeding with my seeding. To sum it up, the thinner the area, the more seed you're going to need to get the most out of that seed. So I'm following that regimen on both areas. Very low amount in the front, higher amount in the back. Let's see how it turns out. Our second task at hand today is going to be to get down our seed covering. My main concern is going to be the back lawn here. The front lawn, I'm not even going to worry about top dressing it with peat moss because the front lawn has a thick stand of turf already, which will do fine in holding that seed. Whereas the back lawn, on the other hand, I need to get a covering in there to make sure that we hold that seed in place. And my product of choice for that is going to be peat moss. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, peat moss is a really good product for this, as it is a raw fibrous material that doesn't only help hold the seed in place, but it'll also help the seed retain moisture for long periods of time, which is going to be very beneficial once we get to the watering segment later in this video. As far as application technique goes, all you have to do is spread it evenly across the area. It doesn't matter how you do it. You could do it by hand like I'm doing in the video here, where you just take it out and sprinkle it out across, or you could even rent a top dresser and get it done in a few minutes. To be honest with you, the area I'm doing is not that big. It's about 6,000 square feet, so I'm fine taking the extra time and doing this by hand. I could have this knocked out within a couple of hours. As far as thickness goes, that's going to vary depending on the situation. If you're dealing with what I'm dealing with here, which is a very thin area, then you can get away with a 1/2 inch easy. But if you're seeding a larger bare area, then I highly recommend going up to that 1 to 2 inch mark, because the idea being is that the thinner or the more bare of an area that you're seeding, you're going to need more material there to hold that seed in place and make sure that it does not wash away. Our third and last task of the day is going to be to get down our fertility products. Now, as I've talked about before, we're dealing with a 9,000 square foot property, front, back, and sides. And what I've decided earlier in the video is that I'm going to cut this lawn in half. We're going to do the left side, which is going to be the front lawn, left side, and left half of the backyard. That is all going to be on the liquid program from the Green County Next Seed Starter Pack. On the right side, which is going to be the side yard all the way to the other half of the back, that is all going to be granular products from Carbon Earth Company. On the liquid side, we're going to be applying Green Pop 1621-2 at 12 ounces per thousand, and to top it off, we're also going to be applying RGS at 3 ounces per thousand. The benefits we're going to get here: number one, NPK, you'll be okay. We're also going to get some root growth stimulation from the RGS product, and on top of that, we're going to get about 0.17 pounds of nitrogen for every 1,000 square feet. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but what I want you guys to realize, what Green County does to make this more effective is that they actually juice their products with chelators like humic acid to enhance overall availability of those nutrients at those lower rates, thus making them more effective. So to sum it up, more is less with the Green County Next fertility products. On the right side, we're going to be doing granular. We are going to be starting off with an application of X-Start 824-4. Now, the benefits we're going to get here are going to be a little similar, albeit a little different as well. As we do have NPK, you'll be okay. And we're also going to get some micronutrients like zinc and sulfur to help the macros and increase overall turf vigor. And on top of that, we're also going to get a couple of other goodies in this mix like biochar, which will help hold and release nutrients when needed. And we're also going to get some fulvic acid in there, which will help encourage nutrient penetration into the plant root. As far as application rates go for this product, you can apply anywhere from 3 to 9 pounds per thousand, but for me, I want to have a little fun today. I'm going to apply at 9 pounds per thousand. That's going to give me about 3/4 pound of nitrogen. As far as aftercare goes, the first thing I'm going to recommend to you guys is water, water, water. As far as the watering regimen I want you guys to follow, I recommend you water daily. Water 3 times a day, 6, 12, 3, 6 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., and water 20 minutes each watering cycle. That'll be enough to keep the soil wet. And as far as how long you're going to keep this watering up for, that depends on the grass seed you're seeding with. For me, I'm seeding the back with a tall fescue blend, so that's going to germinate fast in about 5 days, and it's going to take about 30 days for it to be fully established. So I'm going to water every day, 3 times a day, 20 minutes each time for 30 days. Whereas the front, on the other hand, I'm actually seeding with bluegrass, which takes about 21 days to germinate, and because of that, I'm actually going to want to water a little bit longer than I would with the quicker varieties. So about 5 to 6 weeks on the front here. I also want to address the fact that I know a lot of you guys who don't have irrigation systems and you're pressed for time. It's really hard for you to find the time to water your lawn, right? I get it, which is why I have a great solution for you guys, and that is going to be my JTLK irrigation system. Now basically what that is it's a DIY irrigation system that I made using store-bought material for minimal cost and minimal effort. If you want to learn more about that, I will leave that video here in the eye in the top right corner, as well as linked in the description below. Great solution when you can't find the time to water. In addition to the watering, I don't want you to mow the lawn for 2 weeks. This is very important because, as I've mentioned before, the seed is at a very delicate state, and the last thing we want to do is trample all over it, thus diminishing our results. So at least 2 weeks, and then you could start mowing once a week. Now, just because you could start mowing at that 2-week time frame doesn't mean that you could start walking on it like normal, because what I want you to realize is that while the grass seed is maturing, it's still in that delicate state. We need to give it a little bit more time to germinate and establish before we can resume traffic. So what I would recommend to you as a rule of thumb is once you get to the end of your daily watering cycle, that's when you can resume traffic as usual, and you should be fine. And we have made it to the end of the video. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Now, before I sign off for good here, I wanted to go ahead and make an announcement that's probably going to be applicable for all of you right now, and that is the fact that GIE Expo is right around the corner. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what the GIE Expo is, it's one of the biggest lawn care landscape shows in the community. They have everything from lawn equipment to fertility equipment, business management software. They have everything that any lawn care fanatic could ever think of. The dates for this event are going to be Wednesday, October 14th, all the way to Friday, October 16th. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I myself, as well as a couple other YouTube members from the community, are going to be there. We're going to be there hanging out. And on top of that, I also wanted to give you guys an opportunity to possibly meet and greet with me and take some pictures and have an opportunity to be a lucky winner of a couple of giveaways. And that is going to do with these guys right here, Spiker Spreader. You guys who've been watching the channel for a while, you guys know that Spiker's a company that I have been working with for a little under 1.5 years now, and I've had nothing but good things to say about them. In that time, we've grown really close, and because of that, they're actually giving me and a couple of other influencers from the community here an opportunity to announce a couple of giveaways at their booth. What Spiker's going to be doing all throughout the event is they're going to be announcing a couple of lucky winners to take home a couple of their finest quality spreaders. So the 2 time slots that I have open from them are going to be Thursday 11 a.m. as well as Friday at 11 a.m. If you want to come by those 2 days at that time, take some pictures, meet and greet with me, and possibly win a high quality spreader, then I highly recommend you come by. It's going to be a really great time. Now, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll show you how to get the deepest, darkest, greenest, thickest lawn on the block. I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If I don't see you guys next time, your lawn is going to be dominated. See you later.